What's up, techies? I've got Poetic's Revolution case for the Note 5 and also the iPhone 6 Plus. This will still fit the iPhone 6 Plus S, so just keep that in mind. I've already got this installed on the iPhone 6 Plus, so I kind of want to demonstrate what it feels like when it's all installed. Then I'll install the Note 5 one because they're basically the same case. Of course, it's going to fit a different phone a little bit differently just because of the buttons and things like that. But this is definitely one of the most rugged cases that I would actually use. I would use this over an OtterBox. The reason why I say that is because the OtterBox always has a problem with their built-in screen protector. The built-in screen protector on OtterBoxes have like this really bad gap between the screen protector and the screen. This one is not nearly as bad. As a matter of fact, it's pretty much flush right up against it. There's just the slightest hint of a little bit of play between it. But like I said, it's nowhere near as bad as an OtterBox, and that's the reason why I would use this over an OtterBox. As far as using this case as a daily driver, I've let my wife actually test this out a little bit. She says it works, she gets used to it, but there are some times to where it's not as responsive as if the case was not installed, or if there was like a screen protector or a tempered glass screen protector that adheres to the screen versus just lays on top of it. But for the most part, it works decently. A lot better than OtterBox. I don't mean to keep on hounding on OtterBox, but it's such a big deal to me with these built-in screen protectors is that they got to be functional. They can't like hinder the operation of the phone. Another thing I really like about this is that the buttons are actually really easy to press. They do a really good job at this, and I'm really picky about button presses as well. If it's hard to press, I will not use the case. But in this case, it's actually working really well. On the bottom, you have your cutout for your speakers, then covers for your USB connection, and then also your headphone jack. There's also a microphone down there, so they leave a hole in that cover. On the other side, you got your volume controls. Really easy to press those buttons. This is one of those areas that I think they could widen this part because with a guy, I don't know, maybe some girls might have some troubles with this too, but you have to really stretch yourself in there to get that mute button. So I'd really like to see that widen a little bit more, just for the fact of being able to even just reach inside to activate it. I thought that this was an interesting touch. I don't know if I'm per se a fan of it. I don't know if I'd actually use it, but it's there for the using if you need to. And you know, I'm sure some people will find some great usefulness out of that. On the back, you get a nice generous cutout for your camera. It's not going to interfere with any of your pictures. The kickstand on this is actually pretty good. This is a metal kickstand, so it's not going to just break on you easily. And it kind of snaps back in place. It's not magnetic, but more like a spring-loaded action. And what's neat about it is it's pretty sturdy. Like you got to go in the very, very corner just to start to tilt it. But I would recommend that if you are going to use the kickstand to make sure that you have the volume rocker up. That way, if you need to adjust the volume while you're watching a video, you can do so without having to pick up the whole phone to adjust the volume. As far as the materials go, you get a nice hard polycarbonate outer shell. You get a tough TPU silicone on the outside and on the edges. It's raised above the screen, so you get nice front screen protection. So if you put it on the face, it's not going to ruin anything. Also, if it drops, it's not going to ruin anything. It's got really good corner protection. I mean, this thing is just fully protected. It's a very rugged case. All right, so the hard part of this is actually uninstalling it or taking the case sides off. You got some little indentations here. I'm doing my best to try to get it off. It's just kind of difficult. I'm trying not to hurt myself while doing it. I think last time, yeah, I kind of pulled back on this little tab here, and then you just kind of start working it off the edges. I mean, it's definitely one of those cases that you're not going to want to just take on and off frequently. This is going to be one of those, like, just put it on and leave it there. You're not going to want to take it out. I mean, once you got this installed, there's really not much of a reason to take it out anyways. But, I mean, that kind of stuff makes me nervous. I feel like I'm going to rip the case apart or something. But this actually, like, you have to kind of press it off. And then there's the uninstall. And that's how you uninstall it. It's pretty nerve-wracking if you ask me because it's just really stiff. So, you saw how I uninstall it. And now I'll show you how to install it. I got a tempered glass screen protector on my Note 5 at the moment. I'm not going to be using this case as a daily driver, but just kind of like for a backup in case I need something rugged. So I'm going to see how it does with the tempered glass installed and kind of go from there. It might actually help out a little bit. I don't know. We'll see in a second. So to get this back installed, start at the bottom because that's got most of the functions down there. This is crazy how hard it is to get it back in. Actually, before, when I was testing this out, what I did was I didn't even take this fully out. I just kind of slid the phone in and then put it back on, because this part is really difficult to get back installed. Like, you need some special kind of patience to get this going. So I might end up just doing a time lapse for this part, because this is crazy difficult. Alright, so a little trick I think is I'm going to start on the side right here and start to work on the other ends of the phone. Then hopefully this will go down as well. But goodness gracious, this sucks how hard it is to put it on. I definitely recommend starting on the side and work your way around this way, and that'll help. And you can see here, it's pretty much like the same setup as that. You got your ports here, your covers, USB. I would say that you're probably only going to be able to fit the skinny jacks in there. You got your speaker grill. Then on this side, you got your cover for your S Pen. S Pen, you kind of have to reach really in there and get that. That's almost just as bad as the mute button on that part. So there's some improvements that need to be on this case, but it's really not that bad of a rugged case. I like how the buttons press. The screen is a lot better than the OtterBox, and I feel comfortable that this is not going to get damaged because this case is installed. There you have it. This is the Revolution case by Poetic. It's a really rugged case. I would definitely recommend checking it out. I'll leave a link down below where you can find it. Please share this video with your friends and family. It's as easy as hitting the Facebook and Twitter buttons. And until then, stay techy.